Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new draft review. We will take a look at the last game of the first week in the LEC, Fnatic vs Excel. A very interesting draft, at least in my opinion. Fnatic starting off with a Callisto ban, quite common, not going to talk about that. Can ban it on blue or red side, really depending what your priorities are. Graves also, a lot of teams ban him. He has probably like a 95% appearance rate in either pick or ban. Yumi taking off as well, also quite common, as it's quite easy pickup on R1 or R2. Yumi has a lot of ADCs that work quite well with her, and she's quite difficult to deal with, especially later on in the game. Excel banning away the Twisted Fate is a little bit interesting, leaves up Syndra and Varus. So if Fnatic doesn't ban one of them, then either one or possibly two strong picks will be available. Twisted Fate is interesting. Probably, Nemesis is probably the best, or maybe one of the best Twisted Fates in the world. So I can understand that. Still interesting that they tend to ban it away. Fnatic's last ban is the Trundle, which is also interesting. I don't really think that Trundle is that strong, even though a lot of teams tend to think that way, or at least think that Trundle is a good blind pick. I disagree, but a lot of teams opt into that. And then Blitzcrank taking off the board as well. It's of course a very strong pick, and maybe Excel thinking about the Thresh themselves probably, and don't want to deal with Blitzcrank. Fnatic then picking Varus, one of the two left strong picks, Syndra the other one, picked up by Excel. And then also the Thresh, which is also a very strong pick, as I already said. Nothing really to talk about these three picks. They were pretty much expected. You don't want to give away Thresh to Hylissang, so you're just going to take it yourself, as it is a very strong pick. Syndra as well as a flex pick, and Fnatic opting into the Varus here. And then, interestingly, Fnatic go for the Gangplank, so they say, alright, we for sure want to play around bot side, and we want to leave Gangplank on an island. So it's strong, obviously it's a strong pick for weak side, top laner. Scales very well, so it's a fine pick. A little bit early on, kind of surprising, but I think this is fine. And then picking up Gragas, which is interesting. Haven't really seen too much Gragas. I think Gragas is quite strong, to be honest. Can be difficult against Thresh, but very interesting that they opt into that. Better than Lee Sin in my eyes, but maybe something like Jarvan would be better. Gragas gives you the opportunities to start fights with Varus as well, so you have good initiation. You have already AP damage, so you even could look for a AD mid laner if you want. Excel's last pick of the first phase is the Vladimir. Counter pick into Gangplank also scales very well, and will lose at the first levels, but as it gets later on, then Vladimir will start to take over the lane and should win the 1v1. You can also play around Vladimir, so there's the possibility, but you can also leave him on an island. So yeah, a very solid pick, and also kind of expected. Banning away the Corki, then another scaling pick for Fnatic would mean that Fnatic would have a lot of opportunities in late game to win fights, and as games tend to go quite long at the moment, I think it's a fine ban. And then Fnatic banning away Jarvan, another great initiation tool, since Excel doesn't really have a lot of great ways to find initiations. The only way to start fights is through a Thresh hook, which isn't too great at the moment. And then banning away Jarvan definitely is good. Another option would be Ornn to ban away, but I don't really think that you would put Syndra bot lane, Vladimir mid lane, and then Ornn top lane, as you really would need a lot of AD damage coming out of the jungle, and there are not a lot of AD champions in the jungle where I would say yes, they are reliable AD damage, so you have to go also a little bit of armor. And Excel also banning the Yasuo, which is quite common if Gragas is picked. Gragas Yasuo, very strong duo mid jungle. probably the strongest duo, I would say, mid jungle, at least one of the strongest. So a safe ban. Just make sure that Nemesis doesn't get his hands onto Yasuo. And also Tristana, interestingly enough, Tristana's banned. I'm not really sure about this. Why banning Tristana? She's also a flex pick and also can play top, mid, and AD. Maybe they have something in scrims. I think Tristana is strong, but I haven't seen any priorities at all, so this is very interesting. Excel picking up the Olaf then, which is a fine jungler, is very good into Gragas, as Gragas has a lot of CC, and Olaf can, with level 6, can deny all of that CC. Gives you a little bit of engage as well, with the Olaf Q, especially early on. But yeah, you need like a little bit more of a mid-game champion here, I would say. Fnatic picking up the Tahm Kench for the safety of the Varus. Interesting that they opt into that. It's fine into Thresh, I would say. Maybe you could have picked Nautilus here, but it's a good pick if you consider the Olaf, because Olaf can just run down the Varus without Varus really being able to do a lot, and with Tahm Kench you can at least have a couple of seconds Varus is safe, and also saves you from Syndra stun or Syndra ultimate, and also from Vladimir. So I think it's a quite good pick. And Orianna also picked up. It's a fine blind pick, does quite good into Syndra. Obviously Syndra can still be flexed into the AD carry position, but I would assume Syndra would be mid lane at this point, so it's a fine matchup. Scales quite good, gets also some kind of protection again for the Varus. There's also a lot of damage in mid and later game fights, and Excel's last pick is Deceiver, which is very interesting because we haven't seen a lot of Sivir. I think she's quite strong. She's especially strong against Varus, so we may see her often, a little bit more often now. Her E obviously can prevent the damage from Varus Q, which is quite good. Also, like in the mid games, is quite good. She helps with initiations with her ultimate. She boosts up Olaf quite nice, Vladimir quite nice. So the possibilities of starting a fight on the Excel side isn't too great. They basically, the only real option is to run it down, and when you have an Orianna who can protect certain champions, or can, for example, like she can E Varus or herself, Tahm Kench who can save one of these champions, Gragas who can help disengage, Gangplank who can help disengage. It's kind of difficult for Excel to approach the Fnatic champions, because they have a lot of disengage, while their only option is to really run onto them or find a flank. So Fnatic plays that good. I think Fnatic should win. I think the draft is slightly won by Fnatic, even though I think it's quite equal, but still a little bit favored onto the Fnatic side. Fnatic should have good scaling, good mid game, and overall good balancing. Maybe early game they will tend to struggle because Olaf can take over an early game. But yeah, still overall, I would say Fnatic draft looks a little bit better, and yeah. I hope you enjoyed this draft analysis video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys next time.